sometimes a poem comes along that you really feel you capture that innermost scream, that innermost moment that you want to catch. Not you sit down and, I don't know if I ever felt this. It was quite hard when you were said, to commission to write something. The pressure's on and you almost got to force similes and metaphors. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but it's pressure, and sometimes, not that I get commissioned very often anyway, but it was nice in one way, but then you just, I don't know, it's a different sort of feeling than when you just, I don't know, in your own space and something happens. And this next poem really it really summed up a sort of a philosophy that I was sort of searching through in the last couple of perhaps years of my life, and I just felt this was something I wanted to impart in the book. It's just called Meat. Shall I live my life upon my knees? Shall I crawl to just survive? From the moment of conception, you label me a sinner, a fraud, a deception. My son, age 5, tells me that he loves everyone on this planet. A sinner, a failure, strangled sunflowers seeking sun, drowned dandelions drifting down. Even the trees tremble in tired gaze. Because we're all too scared. We're all too scared of their crucifixions and olive branch verisimilitude. On my knees, facing Mecca to make me feel better. Torpid tongues speak in silence. And your wine is not the blood, and your bread not bones. They are mere physicalities, and we are meat. Festering sores on junk-bait skin, simmering salvation, spitting within. The flesh, the blood, the bones, the teeth, linking arms against our impending death. Sonic connections and passing thoughts. What makes us human are not your rules, but the tiny step, the reaching hand, our scarred chests, as verbs are vulnerable. As I flounder, I drag, I fall, I live, I die. Crushed beetles under nature's souls. I was. God feared. Penance pulled, sin drowned, before I could say my 9 times table. And in the child's silence of playing alone, to the dementia-shrunk brain of our old age, we make the tracks that shape the flow. No Adam and Eve in the garden, just breast and neck, stone, axe and found flint arrowhead. And only when you have seen the stars and frozen nights, sucked vitamins through dawn's shimmering sunlight, touched the bleeding bark in autumnal fire throat, watch penicillin course through sickened veins, will you acknowledge our significant insignificance? And I don't need morality from a historical story. The darkest habit is the inability to think, so suck upon the nipples of deceit, and they will never fail to provide, yet will always leave you hungry for more and more, as the milk of righteousness drowns our reason, a vertigo of the heart in the face of another. So I am godless in the skies and godless in my heart. I walk without scaffold, naked unto the sun. I walk, I limp, I run, I die. Like the first 3 minutes of this universe. I am uncontrollable. I am desperate. Godless. I am earth. I am fire. I am water. I am air. No rockets, red glare. No mosque, tannoy. Just a stuttering soliloquy. A bulletproof symphony. I walk, I limp, I run, I live, I die. I walk, I limp, I run, I live, I die. Here. Sometimes you come upon a metaphor or something, I don't go searching for them, but sometimes you hit one and you try and explore it, and and this will happen with this next poem. And I once read this in Crickhowell, which is quite a sort of posh area down in sort of mid-South Wales. I don't know anyone's from Crickhowell there, but it didn't go down too well, and that's okay. I'm sure you'll be a little bit more gentle. It's called The Sport of Savages, and anyway, I don't want to analyse it for you, so that's okay. And it's another quote. I once had a review once of an early book, and he said, "Great quotes, shit poetry," and that was it. so I don't put that on my website, no. But I do love a good quote, which but it's not actually a good quote, it's just an absurd quote. It's by Lord Burns, Chairman of the Inquiry into Hunting with Dogs, House of Lords, 12th of March 2001. And another anorak person, aren't I? Finding that. The Sport of Savages. Naturally, people ask whether we were implying that hunting is cruel. The short answer to that question is no. There was not sufficient verifiable evidence or data safely to reach views about cruelty. Asylum seeker in the forest, runs blind in the thicket thorn, arteries pump, fear-fed blood through beautiful body foreign. As locals beat the path to redemption, cuts his legs on hound's teeth bite, stumbles like a stunned boxer, though here there are no ropes to save. Here, the glaring eyes of xenophobia, the vocabulary of righteousness, the mouth of vengeance. Disguised in the smile of savages, bathed in the oxymoronics of human rights and countryside alliances, of culture and conservation, as the asylum seeker in the forest falls to the ground, scared, scarred and shish kebab skewered on a pissed night in Oxfordshire. He takes the ground, clutching soil, licking grass, as spectators surround and hiss and claw and point and jaw as he digs and digs away from the disappearing sky, and then it all goes black. Spews memory of other tunnels, other places, other hauntings, other huntings. As outside the baying masses take communion with their unnatural nature, glimpses of red and white. Someone lets the dogs attack, everything turns red. The asylum seeker in the forest is dragged, dazed and dying, out of its den, surrounded by freedom. The virus attacks, bones racked, collapsed, lungs sing, its neck broken, blood river flows, as if returning home, away from here. The game over, the crowd disperse, work finished, carcass discarded. The prize from New Zealand, some prime rib, blood dripping, wine from France and perhaps a little caviar. As the dogs clamped like Guantanamo, the asylum seeker in the forest is invisible, is silent. As inside the lodge, the talk is of victory and keeping Britain for the British and the right of free speech, an assembly and the need to place terrorist suspects under house arrest. A sport for savages, for queen, for country, for language of damage, the moral right to their own liberty. No asylum is given in this land, upon this earth, only the derelict dance of class and tradition, the right of the righteousness, the epitome of moral contradiction. So next time you pass that clearing of red, white and blue, remember who assembled here, who sparked the terror and who hid the truth. Remember the asylum seeker in the forest, only an unmarked grave, as the earth holds what the earth gave. Thank you. I didn't actually write this poem, this next one. It's a found poem, which I was always a bit dubious. I thought it's a bit of a cop-out, isn't it? A found poem, you know, lazy, go and get real job. I'm writing a real poem. However, this one was just aching to be montaged together. It's called Cut Up Morning Pray. I wonder if you can guess where I found it. It's not one place. Okay. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. The confrontation that we are calling for does not know Socrates' debate or Platonic law, but it knows the dialogue of bullets, the ideals of assassination, bombing and glorious destruction. Gates of hell can never against the church prevail. We have Christ's own promise, and that will never fail. And there shall be no peaceful solution, only pen and gun and word and bullet and teeth and tongue. Onward, Christian soldiers, marching as to war, with the cross of Jesus going on before. And the sinners shall be known by their marks, and shall be seized by the forelock and the feet. Run the straight race through God's good grace. Lift up thine eyes and seek his face. Life with its way before us lies. Make a covenant, O sister, to make their women widows and their children orphans, to make them desire death and slaughter them like lambs, and let the Nile and the Euphrates flow with their blood. We are brothers and comrades. We stand side by side by side.